All right, guys, I am back. Uh-oh. Let me get my chair back situated properly. Okay. Was my chair here the last time? Ah. Okay. So, this video, I put belly binding because that is probably what people may um, recognize as what I'm going to talk about as far as holding your uterus intact after having the baby. I think most people type in belly binding, but this is to um, give you information on how to have that support, that stomach support after delivering your baby. And so, what I actually have is I have a stack of all of the different um, materials or um, tools or instruments that I have used through the years of actually delivering babies. And I'm going to share with you which one worked the best for me. Okay. So, first, I want to start off with just a little bit of information um, on what actually happens after you have the baby, what happens when you're pregnant with the baby, to your organs and to your uterus and your ligaments. So I actually was running around trying to find my anatomy book, which I did not find because I'm pretty sure it's packed up and it's in storage somewhere out there on the land, and I didn't I didn't find it. So that's part of the reason what took so long for me to come back with the video. So what I did was I went online and I printed off a few pictures so that I can show you, have a visual to show you on what I'm explaining. So I have a picture that I printed off that shows your anatomy um, before you're pregnant and then your anatomy while you're pregnant. And so I think I'm going to start with that one first so you can kind of get an idea of why having tummy support or abdominal support after having your baby is vitally important. So here's a picture. I don't know if y'all can see that. So this is before you have a baby. This is what you look like before. You have all of your organs. And this is like a side view of what it looks like. So you have all your organs in its proper place here. And so if you look at the chart, you have your diaphragm, your liver, your stomach, your pancreas, your transverse colon. I believe that's what it's saying. Yep, and your small intestine. You can see where everything is. Okay, once you're pregnant, all of those organs that were spread out and spaced out good, nicely, are all now up here. They're all pushed upward. Okay, it's still the same organs. It's still your pancreas, your stomach, your liver, your diaphragm, your small intestine, and your transverse colon. All of that is still here. It's just pushed up because now you have a full-term baby here. And so this right here is important. Pay attention to this because this visual right here is going to help you understand why you actually need the support after you have the baby. Okay, and if you look down here, you see this is your cervix, this is your vaginal canal, this is your bladder. See baby's head, this is why you always have to use the bathroom all the time. This baby head is like sitting right on the bladder. This is, like I said, this is your cervix. This is what it looks like before it's thinned out. Okay, and then of course you have your rectum back here. And all that jazz. And then, of course, what the baby is in is your uterus. Okay, so that's the first picture I wanted to start with. So you can see the before and after. So before pregnancy, during pregnancy. Okay. Remember, during pregnancy, there's different stages that your body is actually going through, just like you have different stages for the baby's growth phases. You have different stages of where your vital organs are positioned while the baby is developing. So it doesn't just automatically get pushed up in the front part immediately like that. It's different stages, it's different process. As the baby gets bigger, your stomach, your pancreas, they start occupying different spaces and portions of your abdomen, your abdomen, your region where your stomach is. Okay. So this is another picture of just what you look like when baby is in there. Okay. And this is a full term baby. So again, up here, all your organs are up here. Everything's up there. Only thing that's not up there is your bladder. Everything else has pushed up and made its way into like your chest area, the chest cavity. That's another reason why it's kind of difficult to eat full meals when you're pregnant. And it's easier for you to just do maybe 5 to 6 meals a day. Okay. Remember this visual. Okay. So as you see the growing baby, there are different parts of the uterus that actually support the baby or support your uterus with being able to carry and hold on to a baby ranging from 6 pounds to 12 pounds. Okay. And there are certain ligaments that are there. So I want to talk about those ligaments so that way you can get a better understanding on why you would actually need to have a support on your abdomen area after you have the baby. So here's another picture. This is your picture pre-pregnancy. This is what your uterus looks like. So this is what it looks like on the outer layer. And then with the slice down here, this is what it looks like on the inward parts. Okay. This is your ovary. This is your ovary. It's still the same organ. It's just this side is showing you what it looks like if the camera was to capture it just face value. And then this side shows you what it looks like once it's been like cut or sliced open. So you can see what's actually on the insides. Okay, so you have an ovary that has eggs in there that are waiting to be released. But it's just showing you what's all in there. Okay, so the ligaments that you want to pay attention to, though, are here. This is a ligament. This right here is called your round ligament. Okay. This is your round ligament. And then this right here is the ligament of the ovary. Okay. Most of you may know this is a fundus. The fundus is the top of the uterus right here. So when you go and you actually get measured, this is what they're feeling for. This tells them and gives them an idea of how far along you are. So when they say, hey, you're about 36 weeks. Okay, you're 36 weeks according to where the fundus measures, which is it's measuring 36 inches while you're laying on your back into your abdomen. So that's what they search for when they're doing your measurements is the fundus, the top of the uterus. Okay. You have your cervix. This whole area right here is your cervix. You got your myometrium, and then you have your endometrium lining. Okay. And then this is your vagina. This is the vaginal canal. This is the vagina, not the outward parts of your genitalia. The outward part is actually called your vulva. Okay. And this is all Greek terminology. This is what we've learned or classified it as. Okay. Then right here, this little space right here, that is your uterosacral ligament. And I'm going to tell you what those ligaments actually do, but I'm giving you a visual. The ligaments are what help support the uterus as your baby is growing. Okay. So hopefully y'all can see that. My lighting is kind of not the best right now. All right. I'm done with that one. And then I wanted to show you this one too. I thought this was a really good one. This is what it looks like with all of the arteries and the blood vessels that connect to the uterus to bring nutrients to the baby. But if you're looking at this, you can also see again the round ligament. Okay. Or should I say the broad ligament of the uterus. There's two different ones. You got the round ligament and then you have the broad ligament. Okay. But this is all for support of the baby. And it's important to understand and know what these are. So that way, when there's certain pains you might have while the baby is growing. It's like, what is that pain there? Well, most of the time the pain is the ligaments stretching. They're stretching and they're growing to try to support the position of the baby. Sometimes you deal with a lot of round ligament pain or broad ligament pain because of the position that your uterus is in. Some moms, when they first have their baby, the uterus is in the perfect position. It's fine. It's not tilted or slanted or slightly pushed back. It's fine. But with some moms, what happens is after you have multiple children, if your pelvic area is never put back into a proper place, or you haven't got a chance to get the right amount of healing time, what happens is your uterus begins to tilt. Okay. And then if you're pregnant again and you kind of have a slightly tilted uterus, it's going to cause some pain in your round ligament or your broad ligament area just because the position is off. But it's still going to grow. Okay. There's exercises, there's different breathing techniques that you can do. Also, I believe in command your body, command your uterus. I command my uterus all the time. I command the sisters' uteruses all the time that I actually help with and work with during their labor and during their delivery, even during their pregnancy. If I kind of feel already that their uterus is kind of already shifted and it's tilted because of the previous baby, we go ahead and we tailor that pregnancy as far as dealing with it spiritually and physically, with commanding the body. We tailor it towards the first beginning of the pregnancy, commanding the uterus to get in proper position so that when the baby begins to develop, you don't have as many pains or sharp pains or pains that just come off and on, or spasms within the round ligament area or within the broad ligament area. So that's what we normally do. And that normally helps. And you want to kind of get into the habit, start looking at how you can feel if your uterus is out of place. Because 9 times out of 10, you really don't have to go and seek medical attention for a tilted uterus or a pelvic area that's kind of slightly out of place. A sciatic nerve pain. Once you start figuring out what position your uterus is in, you can take full control of that, and you can begin to command your uterus to get back into its proper order, command your hips to realign in the proper manner, to prepare for the developing of the baby. You can command the joints to get back in position. So this is what I encourage you to do. Try to start doing research, find some midwifery books, find anatomy books. Anatomy books are they're really good for you because anatomy goes in depth where you can see all the way down to the blood vessels. Like I just showed you that last picture There's so many different visuals it gives you where you can learn all the different parts of the uterus, and you can see, okay, well, I normally have pain here. You can see where that pain is coming from, what it's attached to, if it's vessels that may be intertwined in that area, and you can know the name of it and speak directly to it. So I encourage you guys to find some anatomy books, and you can find them in the thrift stores. I have mine from school. I just decided to keep all of my anatomy books, my physiology books, my kinesiology. I decided to keep all those things. I said, you know what? One day I might need this stuff. And then I had already planned on homeschooling my children. So I said, what perfect way they have give them a good start is to use my college books. So you can find those at the thrift stores. A lot of people just throw their books away. I've seen brand new anatomy and physiology books at the store, even medical encyclopedias. I mean, we have so many different books up here from just college, and then things that classes I didn't even take, but they're brand new and they're at the thrift store for like 50 cents, $1.50. So I would encourage you to look there first before you would go on Amazon or anything like that to try to purchase. I know for sure if I would have known that before while I was in school, I probably would have went to the thrift store and found my school books, because I probably would have found them. Like many of us, I paid $160 for one of my anatomy books, and I refuse to throw that away. But get you an anatomy book, and it'll break it down all the way to the bone and the marrow. And that's what you want, especially when you're going to be looking into doing home births, looking into delivering your own baby, doing a birth unassisted. That's going to be very beneficial and helpful to you. Okay. Plus, free education is the best education. If you can educate yourself, you're going to save some money. Okay, so here's my next picture that I have. And then I'm going to go into explaining the support that I use. So this is the next picture that I have. And this is a picture that's just showing right up after you have the baby. Okay. And then these are just like different belts that they recommend you to purchase or use. I have those belts, and I'm going to talk about them. This is a different belt. This is like stomach support. This is another belt that's waist support. And then this is another belt for the pelvic support. Most moms, I know for me, when my stomach gets too big, I wear a belt like this when I have to do a lot of moving around. So these are the different types of belts. If you look on the bottom, though, the bottom is showing you what your stomach and that cavity looks like after you have the baby. Okay. This is the first stage. Like baby was just born. If you look right here, that's the uterus. There's nothing there. It's just open. It's very open. Then this is the next stage. This is as your uterus is shrinking down. The uterus is still here. And see, there's nothing there. It's still open. And then this is coming to about the last stage. The uterus is almost back into its place. It's almost to the shape of your fist. And then you can see it's about right there, and still there's nothing there. Okay, so these are just the stages. This is what it looks like right after labor. This is a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks. Well, it's a couple of days after labor. And then this is pretty much the last few days, or the ending of the healing process after labor. Okay, so this is when your uterus is shrunk back down to about the size of your fist. So my fist is really small. So this is about the size of my uterus in its normal state. Okay, so that's like, if I move it back. So it's supposed to get that small for me. Okay, so I'm going to put that there so you can see the pictures again. Remember, this is the uterus, is right there, and it's empty cavity. It's right there, and it's right there. Okay, hopefully y'all can see those pictures. All right, good. Yay. All right, now, done with the pictures. I talked about ligaments. I'm going to name I'm going to name the ligaments for you. Okay, you have an ovarian ligament, you have the round ligament, which I spoke of and showed you on the paper, which is also called your pubocervical ligament. You have a uterosacral ligament, which is also called your bilateral fibrous band, or your recto-uterine ligaments. Okay, all of these ligaments together are what support the uterus. Okay, they support the uterus during pregnancy and they support the uterus after. So during your postpartum period. Okay, you also have these words. Peritoneal. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I'm not a certified nurse, but I believe I'm saying it right. Peritoneal folds. And these consist of the broad ligament, the uterovesical fold, and the rectovaginal fold. Okay. And what the broad ligament does is it extends from the sides of the uterus to the lateral walls and to the floor of the pelvis. That is what the broad ligament supports. That's where it extends from. Okay, your uterovesical fold extends from the conjunction of the uterine body and the cervix to the bladder. Okay, your rectal fold that kind of got cut off right there. Your rectal fold. Your rectal vaginal fold is the name of it. And my note got cut off on there. So guess what? You get to do work and you get to look up what your rectal vaginal fold, these tongue twisters, actually do. But your uterus is held in position by all of these ligaments, all of these folds, which in turn could be called your endopelvic fascia. I hope I'm saying all these words right. Which are what support. So with getting all of that information, now I'm going to talk to you about why you need the support. Once baby evacuates your body, what happens is there's an empty cavity there. And through the course of 9 months, you've gotten used to that weight, that weight being off center, and you've gotten used to walking with most of your body out in front of you. Okay, this is 2 reasons. You've got used to your body walking off center like that with a baby way out in front of you. And then your muscles, those ligaments have stretched. They've stretched. So these are 2 reasons why when you have baby and baby's finally out, you feel light, you feel off balance, and you feel like your insides are about to fall out because you have this empty space that is still there because your organs are still pushed up. So after you have the baby, your organs don't come back automatically to its original position. It still takes a few weeks for them to all get back to its normal position. Okay. And so this is why you would actually need support, because it's going to kind of throw your balance off and it's going to make it difficult for you to walk without slouching. You're going to always feel like you need to like hold your stomach because of the empty space that's there, because of the elasticity now of your ligaments have been stretched out. It's going to take time for them to shrink back down. So all of that is kind of off, and that's what's going to make you feel wobbly and kind off center, off balance, feel like you don't really know how to walk without running into something. Um, those are the two reasons. You got used to carrying around an 8-pound baby in front of you, and it refocused your balance, and then your muscles and your ligaments have been stretched to where now they have to get back into their normal size. So you have the empty feeling. Um, some people like to say, I feel like my uterus is going to fall out, but your uterus is not going to fall out. Not if you're doing the proper things. Your uterus should not fall out. Okay. Um, but this is what I have used in the past, and I'm going to show you what I actually use now. So I want to say the first thing that I've ever purchased to use after I had the baby was, and I actually didn't purchase this. My midwife got me this. And this is normally what they give you when you have a midwife after you have a baby. They're one of these little things. So it's like cloth right here, nice cloth fabric, support fabric, and it goes on like this. That goes on the back part. Then you bring this around like this, and it goes across. And what I didn't like about this was I'd always have to kind of try to keep it and make it fit just right, but it would fold. And then it still gave me room to slouch and hunch over and try to hold my stomach. So with the first pregnancy and the first recovery, this only worked for so long, and it only worked, it wasn't as effective. And so it didn't really help with the shrinking down of the uterus. It didn't really help with the contractions after with the shrinking down. And it made it kind of difficult to nurse because I had this right here kind of hitting right up under the breast. And so it was soft, but it just wasn't what it needed to be. So this was the very first thing that I ever had. And it has like the little Velcro on there. So once you do wrap it around, the Velcro is here for it to attach to the other side. So this is the first thing that I used. If you can't afford anything, this is fine. You can use it. But you're going to have to do a lot more with making sure that you're sitting up straight, making sure that your posture is correct. You won't really have much reinforcement. So you can do it, but there's going to be more effort that you're going to have to put into making sure that your posture is correct, and to make sure that it's still functional while you're nursing. Okay, so this was the first thing. The next thing that I ended up purchasing was this. And this, I don't even know if they even sell this anymore, but I got this. This was years ago. It's called a Kimaro. No. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. I think this is called a Kimaro. But what I did like about this is this space right here was open for the breasts to be out. So I didn't have to worry about trying to take it off to nurse the baby. The only thing that I didn't really like is once it was on, if I couldn't breathe or I just needed to adjust it, there's no way to adjust it. It's once it's on, it's on. And then the back, it has good support. This material is kind of it's breathable. It's polyester and spandex. So it does stretch, but it only gives so much. So the only thing that I really didn't like about this was I wasn't able to adjust it. It kept tight. It kept your stomach in. It still kind of gave you leeway to kind of slouch or hunch over to try to hold your stomach. But outside of that, that was one of the reasons why I was like, oh, okay, next we're going to find something else. So this was the second thing that I ended up getting. And then, let me see, the third thing. The third thing I ended up getting was like the belly band, a band, like which I showed you on that picture. So there's like an elastic band in here that stretches when you put it on. And so it's just like that. It unbuckles like this. And this portion goes behind you, like around your back. And then you just kind of wrap it. You bring it around just like the white thing. And then you bring it around to the tightest that you can get it or that you're able to wear it. And then you're good. But this only supports the pelvic area. It doesn't support the stomach at all. And your stomach needs support as well. And so also once it's on, it gets used to the shape of your body. So then the longer that you're wearing it, it kind of loses its form, even though that elastic belt or that elastic band is on there. So it's one thing that I really didn't like about that was it didn't support your stomach cavity and it lost its shape the more that I wore it. Then it was another type of belly band / back support / stomach support. This was really good for my back, but it didn't do much for the stomach area. Now, I would wear this after I've made it past the postpartum phase or the purification phase, and it will work really well, especially for like standing up or going to the grocery store, having to go out and make some runs. This will work really good because it would support your back. So if I didn't have on my my last and my favorite support, I would have this. Okay. And this is, I got this off of Amazon. If I can find the label. It's been washed so many times. Okay, there it is. So this one is called Neotech Care. And that's Neotech Care. I don't know. Can y'all see that? I think that's showing backwards. Neotechcare.com though. That's the company. And so I still have that because I still like it. And it helps with like if you're going to bend down or you're going to squat to pick something up, that works good for your lower back. All right. My next thing, which ended up being the last thing that I actually getting because it worked so well, was a corset. And this was the one that I wore right after the baby. And this one actually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think 8 steel bones in it. 8 steel bones in it. But this is the corset. And after I had the baby, my waist, Jesus. I don't know if I want to tell y'all this. My waist was 60 inches. Yeah, my waist I think was 60 inches with either with the baby or right after I had him. And that is why, y'all. For me, I'm very small. I have a very small frame. So I'm trying to get y'all to imagine how much of my frame had to go back in place. That's really small compared to 26 inches or 27 inches. Okay, so my waist was 60. And so what I did was, you don't ever want to buy the size that the waist is, because then you won't have that support to hold everything in. And so what I did was I bought a medium. I bought a medium size, and this is what it looked like before I opened up the, I guess the string. But then once I started opening it up, I adjusted it to for my ability to be able to get it to latch, to get this right here to latch on. Okay, and then once I got it latched on, so they latch on like this. And this one is not a very advanced one. This one's very simple because you're going to want something simple. I don't recommend you getting a very highly advanced one. Just get something really simple where it's going to be easy for you to just put it on. What I liked about this corset was it was a ribbed corset. So that means it stays here. It comes right up under the breast. So I don't have to take it off to nurse the baby. I just have it right on, and then I could just nurse. So it wasn't like a full body. You don't need a full body corset. I don't know, unless you're planning on, I don't know. But you just need the one for your stomach area that actually leaves the breast out. And the smaller that your stomach goes down, the more that it goes down, then you can have this back here. The strings are long enough for you to tighten. So this became my favorite thing to use, because say if I did get uncomfortable, I could just untie the string and just loosen it up just a little bit. It helps with my posture because of the metal bones, the steel bones that are in there, which are like here. And you can see where these ridges are. This is where the bones are. That's why you can tell that it's not all frumped over or bent down, because of the steel bones. So it's able to support my back and make sure that my posture is not all hunched over and slouched. I really like that because that helps with your posture and helps with allowing the body to put the vital organs back into its proper place. Okay. So this was the first one that I got, which was a medium, because remember I told you my waist was 60 inches. Okay. But it was only like that for like maybe 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. This eventually became too big. So then I had to get another one. And listen, I pre-order these things. I order everything before I'm way in advance before I'm going to need it. Okay. So that way, after delivery, I have it on hand and I'm not waiting weeks for me to get it. So this one became too big. And then my next favorite, which was a whole lot more comfortable, was this one. And this one is it's still a corset. And this one has the steel bones in it as well. They can become pricey, but I'm over quality before quantity. And I'll tell you, I'm very satisfied for the benefit that I got from it. I'm very satisfied. It was worth every penny. It may be kind of expensive to some of you all, but I believe I paid $80 for this one. It was about 80, between $60 or $80 for this one. And I got this from Corset Story. Okay. Very good quality, very comfortable, soft fabric. I mean, it's not, I mean, I would put it on and forget that I have it on. Okay. My posture got corrected almost immediately once I switched from this one to this one. It straightened me up even more. If you look at this one, you can tell how, look at that. This one is a lot shorter than this one. And that I really like that about that one. This one still comes right below the breast. You open it up. This one also has a back flap to keep your back from sweating and to allow that to make sure that this is even when you begin to pull the strings together. So this is the company that I got this from. And I recommend them because they did really well. And you can tell it's still intact. It's not worn down or anything. It's still intact. It's still intact for 50 million more pregnancies. So I only wear them for bringing for that support until all of my organs are back into its proper place and to restore back my posture. I normally sit up sit up straight, but through the course of pregnancy, because of the weight of the baby and because all the different changes with your body, it kind of causes my posture to kind of get off. So this definitely helps with the posture. Same thing, it's not difficult to put on. It's the same latch method. The bones are in here. It's not going to allow me to slouch at all. So this is what I recommend for your best support. Like I said, it could be kind of expensive for some, but if you start now, if you go ahead and save up and you purchase it way before, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. Your body will be grateful. You're going to be grateful. I noticed when I put these on, I was able to get to the bathroom a lot quicker without straining. That's the main thing with having that support. It's going to keep you from straining or causing yourself to go into hemorrhaging because you're trying to pull and tuck and hold your stomach in. When you put this on, you're not even going to feel like you just had a baby. You're not going to feel like anything is out of place because it's still holding everything in together, just as if you had just as if you still had the baby in there. Hey, little stinker. Mom, and see, I got a little mini me right here. He just came from outside. Now he wants some milk. So bless y'all. I hope that helped you. I'm going to come with another video on what you should have that is going to be beneficial for you for bleeding after you have the baby. Bless y'all. Come on. Hold on, stinker. Come on.